Hello, everybody. Welcome back. The NBA is back. We've got a busy 9 games on today. I did a mailbag show earlier today with Kingy, Adam King. We answered your questions live there. I did a what to watch for show already for Friday's games. We're going to go through who's in, who's out of today's action. We're going to go through lineups. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to play dribble game. In fact, we might just go straight into dribble game right now. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you guys back. No live shows or no pregame shows for a while. We're back in action, though. We're ready to go. Let's go to dribble game. Let's see what these guys have got in store. All right. Chauncey Billups and Darren Williams. Chauncey Billups and Darren Williams. Okay. Chauncey. Nuggets. Pistons. Nuggets, I think it's got to be. Darren Williams. Nets, Jazz, Cavs, Mavs. This is a tough one. My memory back to this time is not ideal at the moment. Chauncey Gallinari? I don't think so. Jazz? Carlos Boozer play with Billups? Kirilenko play with Billups? This is a tough one. All right, let's go. Let's think. Chauncey Billups and Darren Williams. Darren Williams played in Cleveland with LeBron. Did LeBron play with Chauncey? I don't think so. Chauncey played with the Clippers? Did he play with Knicks? Who's this one? Come on. Who is the crossover here? Villanueva. That's interesting. It was Charlie Villanueva. There you go. Congratulations to that man, Thunderous, who guessed that one. Well done. Let's bring the lineup screen across now. We can see what's going on. We do have some lineups confirmed already. The Celtics are going Derek White off the bench, not Rob Williams. So whatever that nonsense was before the All-Star break made no sense. So it's Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Rob Williams. Not dropping Derek White yet. Wait till we get to after the recap show tonight. We might be dropping him. For the Magic, Fultz, Harris, Wagner, Banchero, Carter. For the Cavs, Garland, Mitchell, Okoro, Mobley, and Allen. So let's look who's in, who's out of today's games. Nuggets just announced their starters, by the way. Jamal Murray's back, KCP, Maga Porter Jr., Vlatko Cancar, and Nikola Jokic. So they're starting Cancar and not Bruce Brown. Interesting. The Pacers are starting Halliburton, Nembhard, Hield, Neesmith, Turner. So TJ McConnell moves back to the bench. No one should be particularly surprised there. So we're getting a lot of guys back. Daniel Tice is back. Is he going to get the backup job over Isaiah Jackson? Obviously, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Rob Williams are all back. RJ Hampton's out for Detroit. Marvin Bagley's out. Cole Anthony's back for Orlando. John Isaac's still limited to 14 minutes. Rubio's out. Aaron Gordon is out. Zeke Naji is out. Steve Adams is out. Kennard is out. Embiid is probable. He didn't attend shoot-around with an illness, so watch that one. Dyson Daniels is out, but Larry Nance is in. OG is in. Gary Trent is in. Thad Young is in. Tim Hardaway is in. Kyrie is in, but Bertans and Kleber are out. Trey Jones is still doubtful. Langford is out. Roby is out. Sohan is questionable. Pokusevski is out. Colin Sexton is out. Curry is out. Wiggins is out. Iguodala is out. Anthony Davis and LeBron are both probable. And then you've got Damian Lillard out, Jeremy Grant out, Yusuf Nurkic out, Justice Winslow out, Anthony Simons out, but Malik Monk returning. There you go. That's where we're at with that. So we're waiting on the Pistons lineup. And I saw a troubling comment from Dwayne Casey that he's going to try and get Stewart, Duran, and Wiseman all minutes together. Or not together, like you're going to try and split those little... I don't even know what the phrase was, and I'm going to find it because I don't want to... I'm too emotional thinking about it. Let's have a look. What was the tweet there? Casey said he'll split up the minutes as much as he can between Wiseman, Stewart, and Duran. I don't know what that means because Stewart isn't a center and he doesn't play center. So what are they going to do here? Does that mean they're going to play Duran and Wiseman together? What happens when Bagley returns? It's going to be a mess, and I'm going to be angry at them, and they're dumb. They're dumb. They're just a dumb franchise with a dumb coach and a dumb GM. They're not dumb maybe they are smart men, but they're dumb in terms of what they're doing basketball-wise at this point, and maybe I'll be proved wrong. I'm not so far. What other news is coming through? Welcome, everyone. Good to have you guys here. Wood or Portis over the next 3 weeks? Probably Wood, but I don't feel good about that. Is Man a drop with Westbrook in the mix? I would say have to be, yeah. I can't really say. Like, he was borderline anyway, and adding Russ is going to make that hard. Thank you to everyone. Got to 60,000 subs over the All-Star break. That was awesome. I appreciate everyone for subscribing. Next goal is 100, so we're not there yet, but we'll get there hopefully. Turk says Lillard out for rest is weird. Now, a lot of people are saying this, right? Lillard and Grant out for rest. Here is the thing that happened. They were stuck in Portland. They sat on the plane for like 7 hours yesterday because of weather. They had to go back home in the snow. They came back today, had to sit on the plane again. Eventually, they flew out, and I think they've arrived like 3 hours before the game starts. Now, I know it seems, well, they've been off for 8 days. How can they need a rest? All right? It's not, the rest is a bad designation. It's not rest. All right? I am 100% certain this is not like, guys, they didn't sleep very well. They're tired. It's not that. It's not fatigue. It's none of that stuff. It's the fact that they, as older players and the best players on that team, they had to make a decision. These guys did not have their usual prep. They did not have a situation. They were sitting on a plane. They did not have an ability to get there, to get to shoot around, to have pre-game stretches, warm-ups, any of that stuff. Now, I'm not saying that whether it's right or wrong or not, but it's not rest. These are older players. One of them coming off a concussion, Lillard, who's had multiple calf injuries this season, and they said, okay, this is a terrible situation for us. We're probably going to lose anyway, given we're flying in 3 hours before the game. We have no settle here. Like, risking someone who is an older player, Lillard, our key to everything. Yes, it's one game and they desperately need wins. But I reckon they looked at it. This is my estimation of what they did. Looked at it and said, okay, we sacrificed this game, but if we play it and Lillard gets hurt because he didn't have his prep that he needed to do, or Grant gets hurt because he dealt with a lot of knee soreness last season because of this actually horrible preparation for the game, then our playoffs are cooked, right? Maybe they can win the game. Who knows? Steph and Wiggins are out for the Warriors. There is still a possibility there. But I think they're looking at this like this is a horrible situation. Or not, sorry, Steph and Wiggins. That's tomorrow's game they play the Warriors. Today's game against the Kings, like, they're full health. Were we going to win anyway? What's the risk here with the injuries to these older players? It's not rest. They're not tired. They're not choosing to sit out. There's a lot of things going on, and their preparation is horrible for it. Do I believe Okoro is going to lose his usual 30 minutes a game? Yeah, he lost it last game. He played 17 minutes. The arrival of Danny Green hurts him, I think, and I don't think he's going to play 30 a night. Do you think PJ Washington will be droppable with a healthy roster? Can't see him get enough usage. Really be careful about using the term usage. Maybe you do know what it means, but often people don't. Usage is not really always PJ's game. His game is he hits some threes, he gets some steals and blocks as a big man. It's not really all about usage. The only addition to their team is Kelly Oubre is back. And I'm not really sure how much that actually impacts PJ Washington. Now, Washington's value, it goes back and forward based on efficiency. Really, that's really all there is with him. So I don't think that... Okay, could he be droppable? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I don't think that Oubre returning makes it that way. What can I say of Anthony Edwards' statement about players sitting out? Does it mean they are sitting out because they don't feel like playing? No. That's a horrible reading of that statement and what he says. Anthony Edwards, great, really interesting. He says a lot of things that are completely off base. And this is so overblown. Like, it's so over, like, where can we, okay, you're going to point to this thing with Lillard, they're resting. Okay. How many, like, it gets mentioned 50 times a day. How many players have you seen out from load management this season? Drop them in the comments. Who has been out for load management? All right, and I'll explain to you what happened in those situations. Who has been out? Is Isaiah Joe keeps up the shooting percentages? Is 12-team consideration too high? Yeah, I wouldn't bother with him in 12-team leagues. He's a reserve playing 20 minutes a night who's an interesting stream for threes at times, but absolutely not just adding him as a 12-team league guy. Nick says, was I the bloke who sold footage to the media with Jack Ginnivan? What am I saying? Jack Ginnivan racking? No. I was not in a Torquay hotel cubicle with Jack. So no, I did not sell anything to the media. I don't know, you're taking the piss, but yes. Eubanks to stream today? Absolutely. Of course he is. He's probably a guy you want on your roster regardless. Is Horton Tucker a good ad over Lowry? Well, for now, yeah, absolutely he is. He's a great ad over him now because Lowry's not playing and it's not going to be playing for a while. So what, long term, in 3 weeks' time, Lowry might be 4 weeks' time. Lowry might start and play 35 minutes, and Horton Tucker might play 20. But in the short term, Horton Tucker's going to be a 30-minute night play, and Lowry's out. So it depends where you're looking. If you're looking short term, which I think you probably should be at this time in the season, then yes. Jimmy Butler. When did Jimmy Butler load manage? Jimmy Butler has multiple degenerative problems with his lower body, and the games, he's had injuries. Again, who are we to say what the injuries are? Jimmy Butler, this happens every year for Jimmy Butler, and it has happened every year for Jimmy Butler. He has consistent injuries. Is that load managing? Or was he hurt? What do you do with Trey Jones? I think, depending on situation always, I think Jones is probably droppable. His upside's not that high. The ups and downs with his injury, the minutes have been fluctuating. Really hard to find him as a must-add, must-roster player. You added Oubre for Vincent. Is that the right move? I don't know. I'm not particularly excited about Oubre. Most of his damage was done this season with either Ball out, Rozier out, Hayward out, 2 of those out, 3 of those out, and now they're not. So what's his role actually going to be? 30 minutes? 24 minutes? I don't mind adding Oubre for Vincent. Vincent's not a particularly high upside player in a points league, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm just not a big believer in Oubre's role on this team as we move forward. Who's winning the Denver-Cleveland game? I would say Cleveland, home court advantage. No, Aaron Gordon gives it Cleveland. How many more games do I reckon Simon's about? What's he missed? 1? He's missed 0, hasn't he? Has he even missed a game? I think he hasn't missed a game. So how many more games I reckon he'll be out? I don't think he's back in 6 weeks. I think it's 6 to 8 weeks for him. It's a long time. Jimmy Butler on Minnesota. No, Jimmy Butler on Minnesota was not load managing. He was trying to get a trade. But that was also 4 years ago. Very different situation. He was trying to get a trade. Jack, I hope you're taking the piss, but no, Mac McClung is not a stash. I picked up Chris Dunn for Killian Hayes. All right, I wouldn't have done that. What's up with Kevin Porter Jr.? He's got an injured toe. Dropped Gafford for Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, I would have done that. Yep. Yeah, it was a shocking ankle roll, Simons. I don't think he plays before the end of March. I'd be if he doesn't play in the regular season, I'm going to be. I wouldn't be surprised. Am I still going to do shows? Yeah, all the way through, mate. Even once the regular season ends, I'm doing shows. There were different types of shows, but everything stays. There's always shows, so don't go away. My playoff start next week. I'm considering adding Vincent, but don't want him to go back to the bench in the middle of the week. Thoughts? I don't think. I don't think Lowry's back next week. He could be, but I don't think that he's back next week. Do I like Aaron Neesmith for value tonight? It's very hard to like Neesmith because, well, he's inconsistent. That's the thing. He'll have some big games, but then he'll have games where he shoots 1 of 5, has 2 points with 3 rebounds, and plays 30 minutes. So I will never stake my claim on Aaron Neesmith having value tonight because I just don't know what I'm going to get. He's just too all over the place. How do I fit so many stats and info onto one monitor? What do you mean? I have 2 monitors here. Like when I'm recording, I've got 2 monitors in my setup. Do you mean those lineups though? That's just the way that it's set up. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. Yeah, again, the Ant thing, like, what's he talking about? Which players on his team are sitting out? Like, what is he talking about? Ant says a lot of uneducated things. Yeah, we already saw him get fined for homophobic comments this season. He says a lot of stuff that, I don't know. He loves to talk a lot. I would not be taking his word as gospel. What coffee do I enjoy? This is just a long black. Do I grind my own beans and have a long black? Will D'Angelo Russell be top 100? Yeah, can't see why he wouldn't be. I know the LeBron usage issue is a factor, but I think top 100 is fair. Do we drop Sohan for Robinson despite 2 games in first week for Knicks fantasy playoffs? Look, we put so much focus not we, because I don't, but a lot of people put so much focus on fantasy playoffs and the schedule. Like, your playoffs are in 3 weeks, March 13th, and the Knicks have 2 games then. You've got no idea what's going to happen by then. So much stuff could happen. Robinson, is he a better player than Sohan? Yeah, he is. They're also very different players, so they offer different skills. Focus more on the skill sets and the stats that players bring versus I just want overall value, because you'll lose in fantasy playoffs if you're just looking for overall value. You will lose. What are my playoffs looking like? I'm going to make it in the category league one. I think in like the 5th seed maybe. In the points league, I'm not going to make the playoffs though, but I am going to make it in the other one. I had shit season in the points league one. What do I think about dropping first round playoffs to win a playoff matchup? Well, what's the point of holding on to them if you're going to lose your matchup? Sometimes, look, in general, dropping a first round is not a great idea, and I don't know what situation would arise where that's going to be the key to you winning. But you need to win. Look, there's no point holding guys and go, oh, well, at least I held on to him and I won. But I don't see what situation it would arise where unless the first round player is injured, then what are you doing? Like, there's no need to hold someone who's not playing. Is Sohan a drop? No, I got no context on that. Remember, give context. Maybe. Could be. Don't know. I don't even know if he's playing tonight. But he's got a sort of solid role. Pistons, by the way, starting Hayes, Ivy, Bogdanovic, Stewart, and Duran. Same starting lineup for them. He could be a drop. You think he's just a fringe 12-team league player. Is Ivy a hold rest of season in 12-team? Nah, look, maybe. He is... He's a guy that struggles a lot with a lot of different things. Efficiency, steals, blocks, rebounds, scoring, minutes. So he's okay to have, but absolutely I'm not saying lock in, you must hold him rest of season. I don't believe that's the case.
Oi, Damo, give us your lighter.
Oh, Clarence, have you actually ever seen the full video of that? Because there's a little bit, there's a sneaky edit in the middle there that I had to cut out one of the words that was said. Is Jokic still the number 1 pick next year for category leagues? I have no idea, Jack, but I can't see why he wouldn't be. I don't see what is changing massively between now and then to suggest that, but yeah. What can we expect from Delon Wright moving forward in playoffs? No idea, mate, because the last 2 games he played 29 minutes a night, but is that real? That's what we want to find out. We get some information on that over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, but yeah, Beal might be out there, so are they playing today or tomorrow? No, they're playing tomorrow. Beal might be out, so it's hard to judge. Like, if he's a 29-minute player, he's a 12-team guy. If he's a 26-minute guy, he's a 12-team guy. If he's a 23-minute guy, he probably isn't. And it's trending upwards really, really, really high, really quickly. What's my opinion on tanking to play a specific seed? Absolutely no problem at all with it. If you are deliberately throwing a matchup to get one of your mates into the playoffs, that's bad. Right? If you're like, hey, can you lose this matchup so I get in? That's bad. I don't agree with that. But if you're like, hey, if I lose this matchup, I get to play X team, go for it. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's shit for the person that is going to lose out, but that's their bad luck in that situation. You wouldn't drop players in the playoffs if it's a dynasty, even if injured. No, well, that depends on a lot of different things. Drop players in the... It depends. Am I going to win? Am I actually going to win and I have to drop a fringe guy in a dynasty to win? Then you always sell out to win in a dynasty league. You do. Sometimes you have to lose out to do that. But as a general rule, yeah, you're going to be less cavalier with streaming and dropping players in dynasty. JPX Jimenez says, what's my zodiac sign? Just wondering, based on your personality. Guess what my zodiac sign is. I identify as a Tyrannosaurus as my zodiac sign. But you guess, what do you think it is? What do we do with Ivy next year? We wait until next year. Honestly, no idea. So much changes. I very, very often, I don't know if that's the right word, I don't really ever go into like, oh, where's this guy going to be ranked next year? Because you know how much changes? 25% of the league changes teams. Drafted players come in. Coaches change. Lots of stuff happens. Players are traded. So there's no point what's your top 10 next year? Absolutely no point in working that out. Because again, I don't do anything by feel or by vibes. I project every single player, every single stat, and then we see how they come out on a rankings base. And I go, oh, well, he actually projected as the 18th best player, like Kristaps Porzingis. Oh, Markkanen projected as the 60th best player. Oh, he looks like a good value. Now, obviously, I was still way off on that because he's like a top 15 guy. But I don't go and just vibe it up and say, oh, he's around that. Like, I do it all properly. So I don't, I've got no idea what to do with Ivy next season. I'll probably, at the end of this, we'll look into it and we'll look at his numbers and we'll see where things are trending and we'll go through and make adjustments, and I expect improvement, but I've got no idea what to do with him at this stage. What would the All-Star game have to do for you to watch it? There's literally nothing. There's no reason for me to watch it. I have no interest in watching it at all. I will probably never watch it again unless I am there in an official capacity. I don't know why I would want. I don't want to watch it. Is Malachi Branham a 14-team points league hold? Yes, absolutely. I would even hold him in a 12-team points. Category leagues, I'm a little on the fence, but with guys out, like, have him for now. Yeah, I'm just a little bit. I'm skeptical with him longer term. If ESPN gave you your own show to do a fantasy basketball show, would you do it, or do you like being a free agent? Well, I'm not a free agent for a start because I work for Locked On and I work for Basketball Monsters. So I'm not a free agent at all. If ESPN gave me my show, well, that would depend, wouldn't it? What do they want me to do? How much are they going to pay me to do it? There's a lot of factors that would go into it. I'm always going to be open to listening to suggestions from people, but yeah, I'm not a free agent though. Patrick Williams says the worst LeBron scorer in the league by far for over 1,500 minutes played. Would you even play him if you were Chicago? I would, because who else are you going to play? Who is their other power forward? Like, who else is in that spot? You invested a top 5 pick in him 2 years ago. But, I would have, they were like, oh, we can't trade him away like a year or two ago. I would have been, I didn't believe in him that much as a player at all. I would have been more than happy to move on from him, but they've got no other option there. So I think you've got to sort of see what he is, what you can get out of him. Can we see anything? And I'd have no problem moving on. Josh is definitely a Virgo. Shame, you're wrong. Because, guess what? Star signs aren't real. Libra because of sarcasm, or Virgo because of serial zodiac. Don't know what any of that means, but no. According to the nonsense that is star signs or astrology, I'm an Aquarius. But, of course, it means nothing. We don't know who is coming to coach Atlanta, true. But do you still think that Murray might get ball handling with a different coach, or is Trey going to be bitching about this? It's not going to happen. We know who's coaching them. It's Joe Prunty. I don't think we need to stop overthinking what's going to happen with the new coach. Trey's bitching. You know where Trey gets the ball the most? Because he's the best player. He's the best passer. He's the best scorer on that team by a considerable margin. That is why he has the ball. That is why he orchestrates the offense, because he's the best at it. And again, I said this in the offseason, but imagine you're a coach of a team like Atlanta and your decisions. All right, Trey, we're going to let DeAndre Hunter initiate the offense a bit. We're going to let DeJounte Murray, who's not a good shooter, he's an okay passer. He's not a good passer. He's not a great passer. We're going to let him run the offense. Doesn't make any sense. It's like having LeBron stand in the corner and say, well, Russell Westbrook can cook. Doesn't make sense. But people hate Trae Young for whatever reason they hate him. It doesn't make sense to me to have the ball out of Trae Young's hands and let somebody else who's significantly worse do it. Do I like to eat ice cream? Yes. Will Bobby Portis ever start again? He'll probably start tomorrow. But as a regular full-time starter, no. I don't think he's a regular full-time starter. But he is going to have plenty of starts down the stretch. Turk, where are you getting the $1 million from to give to the All-Stars to get them to compete? Who's giving you the $1 million? And these guys, I don't think they would actually matter for them. And I think it's actually a bad look. But why do we care about the All-Star game? Why do people care? Why do you care? That'd be the question. Because I remember it used to be good. Why does it actually matter? How many minutes do you expect Chris Dunn to get today? Maybe 18? Maybe. Any tips on how to use waiver priorities? Yeah, don't overvalue them. People hold on to them for so long and they just miss out on so many players. I pay no attention to them, really. Stars are real, Turk. Star signs aren't real. Is it bad sportsmanship to tank into the consolation bracket of a 12-team dynasty? Bottom 6 play for the number 1 pick next year? No. If your rules are set up where you get benefited from jumping into that bottom pool, it makes complete sense to me. Like if you're 6th and you can get into 7th by losing to get a chance at the number 1 pick by winning that tournament, which again is a terrible setup, I think. Do it. Why wouldn't you do it? Any updates on Embiid's illness? Yeah, he's currently, we just got it through, he's listed as active and available. They haven't officially said he's going to play, but usually when someone gets listed active, they are going to play. Especially when they're listed probable and then they get listed active, that's almost a guarantee they're going to play. When will Suggs displace Harris in the starting lineup? I'm not certain that he ever does. The problem there is that both Fultz and Suggs are bad shooters, and Powell's a bad shooter. So that's just too much non-shooting in that lineup. So Harris is there to space the floor and provide value in the growth of their younger players, like Fultz and Wagner and Banchero, just by being able to sit and space. If Suggs can show to be a 40% three-point shooter, 38% three-point shooter, he would have that job. But a Fultz-Suggs pairing, I think they'll try it a little bit more, but there's the spacing is a real concern. Will Russ have a negative effect on Paul George's numbers? Yeah, I think he will. A big impact? Not a huge one, but I think he will, yeah. The Kia could give $1 million to the winning players, Turk, but why would they? What do they get out of it? Like, what's the purpose of them doing that? Just so people can say people tried hard in an All-Star game? What's the purpose of it? I don't really understand why. You care about the All-Star game for that. I don't. I actually don't care to see that. That to me, that's not interesting to see them in a game that. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter for anything. I don't know. I just don't think it's pointless. I don't think there's any point to it. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, Eric, this is why I used to watch the All-Star game, because we couldn't watch games in Australia. So when you get to see the All-Star game, you got to see all these players you didn't get to see. But I see them all the time. So I have no interest in watching Jaylen Brown go up against Donovan Mitchell or whatever. I see it every day. Can Eric Gordon continue performing? I think Westbrook's going to kill his value, really. Any new sneakers to talk about? Am I grabbing the Tatum ones? No, I won't be grabbing the Tatum ones, I don't think. What's my most recent pair that I got? I got something. Oh, I got the LaMelo Ball 2s, the Rick and Mortys. That's what I got. And I got the Jordan 2 Lucky Greens and the Tom Sachs general purpose shoe. They're the last 3 that I got. How long am I expecting Giannis to be out for? I think a week is my guess, but that's just a guess. Mark Williams over Duran in points for next 2 weeks. Hornets have 8 games, Pistons 7. Yeah, more uncertainty with Duran. 1 more game for Williams, so yes. Any manscaping tips? Yeah, I do. I use my what's it called? What's that company called that used to sponsor? I forget it. They got the Lawnmower 3.0. Those guys. Their trimmer's really good. There you go. There's a tip for you. Will Duran be a hold if he gets 24 tonight? If he gets 24 tonight and there's no reason for it, then I don't think you hold him. Although, I'm a little bit more patient. Some might think that I'm not patient. I'm a little bit more patient. I get accused of being too patient or too slow to react or being too fast to react. So I guess I'm somewhere in the middle, which is about right. I would probably wait another game or 2 before I move on, but it wouldn't be a great sign. I had someone told me that I was I was too quick to say that Mason Plumlee should be a drop, and I'm only saying it because I hate him. I don't hate him at all. I don't know the bloke. Is there a hit to Anunoby with Pirtle? Yeah, I think there's probably Case. I think there's more Case. Is that how I say that name? I think there's more of a hit with more of a hit to Trent, but I think both guys are impacted. Yes. Islam says, "Who is or was the best fantasy basketball player ever?" I've never really gone through to look, and this is definitely who's the best guy. But go back and look. I will drop a link to this so you can see it. If I can find where it is. I've got a thing that you can go back through all of the past. Where the hell is it? I can't find my list. all of the past rankings for players, and you can see like Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson. I am supposed to be out of here, but I'm going to link this for you guys. I hope you guys are interested in it. History. Why can't I bloody find it? Anyway, I thought I had it saved as a bookmark, but just bear with me. I know this is not great podcasting, streaming. Yeah, here it is. All right, I'm going to drop this in the chat for you guys if you want to see past productions of players. All right, go check that out. And that will do it for me today. Hit like on the way out. Go check the other shows I've recorded today, and the full recap is coming later on in the day. I'll see you guys later.